35,000 rent every single month, and still, nothing is mine. Years are passing, money is going, but am I building anything?
Bro, 55,000 EMI? That's too much. Maybe, but this house is mine.
Buy or rent. Sounds simple, right? But this one decision can impact your next 20 years. Choose wrong and you might regret it every month.
Most people think buying a house is always a good decision. But in reality, this one choice can either build your wealth or block it for decades. Today, we'll break this down like a financial expert. In India, owning a house is linked to financial status and security. But financial decisions should not be emotional. A home gives happiness, but it also brings long term financial obligation. When you take a home loan, you are locking your future income. EMI becomes a fixed expense no matter what happens in your life. If EMI crosses 40% of your income, your financial stability reduces drastically. Most people buys house without proper financial planning and without creating emergency fund. Finally, this results in financial distress. Buying is emotional, but decision must be financial. Emotional home buying gives you the finding of dream home, personal connection and comfort, creating family memories, vision for the future, neighborhood vibe, and a place to call home. But when you think financially, if you apply the financial logic, you should consider budget and affordability, mortgage rates and down payment, interest and property taxes, resale value and investment, closing cost and fees, and market analysis. If you consider salary versus EMI, now there is a table which shows the balance between these two. In case 1, a person getting a salary of 1 lakh, a take home salary of 1 lakh, and paying a housing EMI of 30,000, which is 30% of the take home salary. Now it will allow sustainable debt, allows for saving, he can create future corpus, it allows him for future investments, and he can also meet his living expenses happily. Now in scenario 2, a person take home salary is 60,000, and out of this 60,000 if he is paying 30,000 as monthly housing EMI, which is 50% of his take home salary. Now in that case, he will be under debt trap, he will be having a burden of debt, financial stress, limited room for saving, and limited room to meet his essentials. Buying versus rent. This particular decision also depends upon number of income earners in the family. If only one income earner is there, then he might face financial distress because majority of his salary might go to housing EMI and other EMIs. And scenario 2, if dual income holders are there, if both husband and wife is working, in that case it is advisable for the family to go for buying a house, because after the EMI commitments, the family might be having the required corpus which they can use for their alternative investments, and can they create the required corpus for their future goals and for future requirements. Buying versus rent decision also depends upon where you are purchasing the property, whether you are purchasing the property in a developed area or whether you are purchasing the property in a remote area. Because in remote area, if you purchase a property, then the growth, the capital appreciation will be very low. Similarly, if you purchase a property in a developed area which is having a better infrastructure, then definitely there is a possibility that you can find a significant capital appreciation for your property. It means you can expect a higher year on year growth if you put or if you invest your money, if you purchase a property in a developed area. So, this particular location also plays a major role to decide whether to buy the house or to rent the house or to take the house on rent. Buy versus rent also depends upon your future goals and aspirations. If your future aspiration is to settle in USA or in any abroad in foreign country, if your future goal is to change your job, if you have a dream company and if you want to work in that particular dream company, then if your future goal is to change the city, then definitely it is not advisable to buy the property. You need to go for taking the property on rent basis. Buy versus rent also depends upon the type of your job, whether your job is stable or whether your job is unstable. Normally, for an individual who is having a stable job, always it is suggestible for that particular individual to go for a buy job because he can reside in that particular location for a long period of time. So, it is advisable for that particular individual to go for buying the house. Suppose if your job is not stable, if you are working for a startup, that in that case your job is very uncertain. Now in that case you cannot take the risk of buying the property. So buy versus rent decision need to be taken on the basis of your existing parental properties or nothing but existing family properties. If you are already have the family properties, in that case the better suggestion would be investing in other investment opportunities because already you do have a stable house, nothing but already you do have a security for your family. In that case, you need to go for other investment opportunities which might give higher return compared to the real estate. Now, if you see buying versus renting, a financial comparison, normally in option 1, an individual who prefer to go for buying a property. Now, when you decide to go for buying a property upfront, you will be incurring some expenses like registration and stamp duty. If you assume that the property value is 1 crore, then you will incur an approximate amount of 7 lakhs towards registration and stamp duty, and the brokerage will be between 1 to 2 lakhs. Then you might incur an additional amount of 5 lakhs towards interior and renovation. In addition to this, if you see the ongoing cost, which comes to if you take 80 lakhs loan, then and if you take the loan for 20 years term at a agreed rate of interest at 8.5%, you finally end up by paying 69,000 as your equated monthly installment, nothing but EMI. In addition to this, you will also be incurring maintenance and property taxes. But if you choose to go for option 2, that is renting, so in that case your upfront cost will be completely zero, and if you are paying 20,000 rupees per month as rent for 12 months, which comes to 2 lakhs 40,000, that is 2 lakhs 40,000. And if you see the rental yield, assuming the property value as 1 crore, the rental yield will be 2.4 percentage. Always do remember, if your rental yield is less than 5%, you need to go for rent, and if your expected rental yield is more than 5%, in that case you may choose to go for buying the property. Now the additional advantage it allows, if you go for renting the property, flexibility will be there, no property taxes, maintenance is already factored in rent, and you can use the surplus amount for investing in other investment what is this instruments. Instead of buying, if you prefers to go for rent, so whatever excess amount which you are going to save over your rent amount, and if you put that particular excess amount in an SIP, assume that if you are investing 20,000 per month as your SIP, here you can observe the total fund value of your SIP after 20 years, it comes to 1.2 crores with an expected return of 12% per annum. So it allows you to build wealth. But if you go for an EMI payment, you are going to pay an EMI for a loan of 50 lakhs, high interest at the beginning of your EMI loan term, that there is a possibility of debt accumulation, and your interest amount, that your total accumulated interest amount will be more than the property value. So if you go for buying a property, the initial down payment which you paid is considered as something which is locked in your housing investment. But instead of that, if you would have invested the 20 lakhs in an SIP or in a other investment vehicles with an expected return of 12%, which is going to create a value of almost 2 crores. It means your wealth accumulated significantly. So option for going with rent gives flexibility and low stress. So renting gives freedom to move and invest the surplus amount in another investment activities. So buying the property gives security and stability. So in order to make a decision between buying and renting, following key points need to be considered. If you are having a stable income, and if you are planning to stay in the current city for a period of 10 years, 5 to 10 years, and if you already fulfilled the required, or if you already created the required corpus for your future, for your family future, or for your future goals, then definitely you can go for buying the property. And if you require a frequent career change, if you are expecting a career change, and if you are planning to move to abroad, and if your job is not stable, in that case the right option would be renting the property. So buying gives stability, renting gives flexibility. So the final decision need to be taken by you only, because there is no universal right answer. The only right answer for you, because this particular decision is completely customized as per your job income level, as per your job stability, as per your future aspirations and goal, as per your family background, as per your number of earners in the family. You need to take this particular decision. So viewers, don't buy property emotionally, you need to buy financially. So viewers, I request you to please comment whether after viewing this particular video, what is your take, whether you want to buy the property or whether you want to rent the property. So please subscribe to Accounts and Finance Insights with Ravi. If this helped you to make a smarter decision, subscribe for more real life financial insights. Thanks for watching.